Welcome to Sharing the Middle, where recovering perfectionists, overachievers, and anyone in the middle of a struggle come together to learn to embrace the messy middles of life. I'm Lacey, your friend in the middle and guide, whose claim to fame this week is getting her kids' playroom, toy room. It's really like a half a room. It's fine. All set up and actually organized. Is it perfect? No, but it is much more functional. This week is a mini episode. We're going to be doing mini episodes every other week now and alternating with our traditional interviews. We're going to start with a reading from the middle, jump into some advice from the middle about FOMO and summer, and then get into Lacey Loves. Let's dive in. And now a reading from the middle. The struggle between consistency and self-acceptance. There are two truths that I'm currently struggling with. They're not necessarily mutually exclusive, but the way that I see them, they are. The middle is all about figuring out about how to hold more truths at once, finding the gray area and getting cozy there. So here we are, friend, with the question, how can I be consistent and reliable while also accepting and honoring my own energy? Let's break it down. Consistency and reliability. This weekend, I told my husband I was scared to do almost anything outside of our house and the scope of my little slice of life that I have curated. I've always valued being a consistent and reliable person. When I say I will do something or be somewhere, I get it done, or I get myself there on time. Thank you very much. I want to be that for people. I want to be that for myself. On top of that, the most common advice when it comes to building a business, specifically in podcasting, writing, and social media, is consistency. And if you are consistent and continue to produce, people will be able to find you and you'll be laying the foundation of growth. Consistency will not guarantee growth, but it is a necessary foundation for it to happen. I do not want to make a commitment and let someone down. I don't want to set myself up for failure when it comes to this project that I'm building. Accepting myself where I am. I'm sure you are tired of hearing it by now, but in case you did not know, I am chronically ill. With what? I still do not know. But I am happily taking a little break from making it my mission to have a title to call it. For now, I'm just trying to manage where I am and find happiness here. And finding that happiness, I need to accept that my symptoms are unpredictable. I need to accept that. For some reason, my fatigue seems to be increasing again. Finding happiness also means figuring out my priorities. This has meant putting more of my energy behind my home tasks and family instead of the middle. I think the loss of a full-time job was such a shock to my system that I poured as much as I could into that bucket. I'm proud of what I've created, but I also recognize that I need focus to be better allocated. Energy and inspiration are not consistent resources for me. I work the best and happiest when I'm able to do it when they're naturally there, not when I'm pushing hard to have something. The clash. Being consistent and reliable seems diametrically opposed to accepting myself. Success in one seems to be failure in both. And this probably is not completely true. Okay, yeah, I know it's not true. I get it. It's fine. Here's the thing. I do not think this is interesting for you. I also think this is super serious. Where is my joy? As I write this, I realize that it probably means a bit of a change in the editorial and posting schedule of the middle. From Lacey in the future, it does. That's what I did. Back to the reading. That's probably a great idea because you're going to be getting the same amount from me. Here's the thing. I feel like I'm letting us both down. But at the end of the day, I have to be okay with it. I'm really excited to be partnering with Happy Curves. It's a really awesome product to help with something that we all do, which is sweat. I've gotten the lotion to powder comfort cream, got the fragrance free, but I did order some of the tropical scent and I'm excited to test that out. What I really love about it is it's easy to put on, starts as a lotion, turns into a powder, and it works in the areas that I need it to. I'm a busty lady. That's not a secret. And with bust, there's sweat. It's been a really great thing not only during the summer, but as someone with a chronic illness that tends to make me sweat, I deeply appreciate it. The other thing that I love about Happy Curves specifically is it's intended to be inclusive of all people, whoever you are, because again, we all sweat and we all can deal with it how we want to. I like it because of the comfort. No one's really around me to smell me. Joe is, but never mind. This is getting too long. Enjoy. 15% off going to myhappycurves.com/Lacey15 or with my code Lacey15. That's LACEY15. And now for a little advice from the middle. Today's letter reads, I'm writing you because I'm feeling overwhelmed this summer. Everywhere I look, I see people having fun, going on trips, and doing exciting things. I feel like I have to keep up with them and make the most of my summer, but I'm struggling to do so. I have a full-time job, a family to take care of, and other responsibilities that make it hard for fun activities. I know that it's important to take a break and not overwork myself, but it's hard to shake off the feeling that I'm missing out on something. How can I overcome this FOMO and find a balance between enjoying my summer and taking care of my responsibilities? Thanks for your advice. Dear listener, FOMO is so hard because it's sneaky, right? You think you have overcome it, and then you see someone doing something and you're like, oh no, that fear of missing out is really tapping in. And as usual, my advice comes down to, what do you want? What do you actually want? In the blog this week, I wrote this piece about the joy of not being cool. And I talk about how early on, late high school, early college, I realized I don't want to go out a lot. I don't enjoy it. I don't need to go out every weekend. Going out sometimes is great, but going out is a lot for me. Now as an adult and more like reflective, I realize I have a lot of sensory things. Like I'm very sensitive to sound. So going somewhere noisy and loud is difficult for me. That was my realization. And then it took some time, but I realized that I was okay with doing what I want because my happiness was more important than this made up way of being cool and going places. So I would suggest that you take a moment and really get into your own mind of what you want. What do you want? Because you say here, everywhere I look, I see people doing these things. Is that what you want? And maybe it is. Maybe it's seeing people have fun going on trips. And if that's the case, you need to look at these other priorities like your full-time job, a family to take care of, and think about how all of these things can happen at once. So maybe your job, you can ask about summer hours. I know some places do that. Or maybe you work from home for a day where you're able to do laundry while you're taking breaks from work, and then that frees up your time later. I think often, and we've talked about this on here, when we think about our lives and that time to go have fun and do things, we see it as this very finite, small amount of time, and that we can't touch the other parts of our life. Like, oh, I have no control over my job. I have no control over my kids and all that stuff. And there's a lot of truth to that. What I just said about asking your work for potential time off or all of those things, that comes with a very specific type of job. And so that maybe that isn't possible. But asking a family member for help to watch the kids so that you can do something is more doable. So I would encourage you to seek other ways to maybe lower all of those other things as well. And my hope, who knows if it's true, is that between figuring out what you actually want and then managing those priorities that are outside of this desire, you can find some of that. The other thing I'll say is everywhere I look, if you don't want to see it, stop looking. If it's not important to you, if you don't want to see these things, don't look. Heck, I've picked up my knitting and crocheting, and it has helped me stop mindlessly scrolling through things so much. And it has been so helpful for me and my mental health because I needed that thing to do with my hands. And now I do, and I care less about what's on social media. Now I still go and I look and that kind of stuff. But that's the other thing is everywhere you look, if you looking's the problem, and only you can answer that, stop looking where you can. That's my advice for FOMO and balance. It's not easy, and you're never going to be perfectly balanced. You're never going to go do everything. All of those things are unattainable goals. Think about your unattainable goals and get yourself there, friend. Thanks for writing in, and I hope that you have the summer you dreamed of. Welcome to Lacey Loves for this week. I'm trying out a new way of doing this that includes me recording myself video-wise to also potentially upload. We'll see how brave I am to do that. But if this is in here, then that means that I did it. And you can find this on YouTube from the Mddl channel. But I wanted to take an opportunity to just explain a little bit about my current change in editorial schedule. As you heard earlier, I've been really struggling with this idea of showing up consistently, but having energy and honoring myself. And it's been hard with No Shame in the Home Game coming to you later this month. You're still going to get the same amount of Lacey. It's just going to be once a week from TheMddl and then once a week from No Shame in the Home Game. Well, also, I've got some trips and vacations coming up, so this gives me a little bit more wiggle room to be able to take a break if I want. I may be inspired to do more. We'll see. There's going to be lots of family time, and I'm bringing my microphone, not like my really good microphone, but a portable one that maybe you'll get some more family episodes soon if that's something you liked. This week, my product, my Lacey Love product, is my Beis travel bag. I'm going to go get it. Hold on. All right. I freaking love this thing. And I know it's more than I would spend on a bag, but it's got so many great things. And I love some of the features. I'm no Shay Mitchell giving you, but let me show you the things that I do love. One, this bottom area for separate things. And then two, especially with kids, when I'm looking for something, the fact that this opens and stays open to be able to look, huge. It's huge. The moral of the story is it is a really great bag to be able to grab and go somewhere. For us, we're going to go on a family vacation this summer, and this will just be one of the bags, but this will probably hold the things that I need to be able to access while we're in the car, while we're driving where we're going, because it is so easy to access things. And like I said, when you open the top, the fact that it stays open so you can see what's in there is huge for me. Because I feel like I'm constantly looking for something when it's not. So I do have a link to that in the show notes for you to check out. It's through Nordstrom, the link that I have. But I do highly recommend that bag. I also have their sport fanny pack that I do like as well. I'm sorry, belt bag. I gotta use the right terms, Lacey. That's the product that I love. This week, like I said, I did do a lot of work in our home, and that has been great. Even though my energy has been lower previously, I've had some of my best days lately, and it's been so great. Because it is summer, and it is a time that you want to be able to go and do things, even though I don't like doing things, as I already said. So next week, we've got a great interview with Jenna Hermans, who is an author that you'll get to hear from. Thanks for joining me in the middle today. As usual, I had fun, and I hope you liked it too. Thanks for sharing the middle with me. As always, I hope you've been able to see a little bit of yourself in the story we shared today. Don't forget to follow, share, rate, review, and follow me on social media at Lacey Shares. You can always check out the Joyful Support Movement at joyfulsupportmovement.com and see all of the amazing goodness we have there, like No Shame in the Home Game, pops of joy, courses, resources, and of course, the joyful support village. All right, now go out there and spread some joy.